that is blockchain. I would like to call upon the founder and chairman of CIFDAQ, who is also our title sponsor. He's an accomplished business leader with a holistic industry experience for 25 years. In his quest to innovate and disrupt the traditional trading industry, he found CIFDAQ, the evolution of innovative blockchain system, a first of its kind. He believes in the motto of one world, one citizen, one trading platform, and power to all. Please put your hands together for Himanshu Maradiya. Hi Himanshu, how are you doing? Did you enjoy the last conversation? Yes, I saw that. And we have another guest on stage here who will be moderating this fireside chat, who is a business and mindset coach and who is one of the top 100 super speakers in India. Please put your hands together for the dynamic Karishma Chandak. Welcome Karishma, all yours. The stage is set.
Thank you so much for me, and very warm welcome to you. So this is a very interesting topic. Blockchain and crypto has been a buzz. It's quite years, I would say, and there are still a lot of information. There are still a lot of insights that we all need, and we all need to deep dive into it. And I think we'll try to uncover a lot of it today in this conversation. Yeah? So to begin with, why is blockchain relevant, as the topic says itself? Why is it relevant for SMEs in India today?
So first of all, we talk about blockchain technology. So then I'll come to answer the question, why is it relevant for SME growth in India? So each and everything would be on blockchain in just few years from now. It started almost, I would say, 5 to 7 years back, and things are getting on blockchain the way in around year 2000 things started getting on internet, and now today we can't even think of a world without internet. Likewise, there would be no possibility without blockchain technology. Why things would move to blockchain technology? Why is it relative? Because blockchain technology has the potential to practically address all the problem points for any user. So if you take, say for example, SME, which is our topic of discussion for today. So what are the problem points of SME sector today? Although SME sector is a very powerful sector, 90% of the business in the world is carried out by SME sector. 50% of the employment is generated by the SME sector. In spite of that, an entrepreneur who is into that is not having access to the credit lines, the fundings, the lendings, the loan facilities, and so many things. So, how blockchain would help to address the problem points? So, blockchain has an inherent capacity, that is whatever is stored on blockchain, that is immutable and that is non-reversible, hence the trust factor is very, very high. When a founder, a SME founder is running the business, he doesn't have all the verticals in-house, in place, like some big corporate. And as corporates have all the verticals in-house, in place, so they get access to all sorts of facilities by maybe governments or banks. But this is not possible in the case of SME founder. But if there is a regulation where use case can be developed on blockchain technology, then very first of all, starting with decentralized identity to moving the transaction records to blockchain and hence building the online credit score or online reputation in the real time, on which basis there should be lending providers who extends the lending to the SME founders, which helps them to solve the funding issue. Point number 2, if they want to do some transaction outside of India, then again there is a question of how to find the right match, how to make sure that payments will be released on time. So over there, again this technology comes into picture where it removes the need of the mediators, the intermediaries, and the match is made and then after in the form of smart contract. If it is executed, then as the conditions are matched, the payment is disbursed. So that opens the door for SME founder to do cross-border transactions in a very safe and secured manner. So I'm just mentioning few possibilities, but if we happen to list out each and every problem statement of the SME industry, I'm sure that can build a solution based on blockchain technology.
Great. I think you very well explained of how it can help. But can you also give a practical example of how it would help SME? If you have an example to go.
Say for example, some company based out of India is there who are into say like kind of exporting something that's not that usual, say like handicrafts, and they want to export it out of India. So very first of all, if there is a platform, a decentralized platform where generally peer-to-peer, that is P2P matches and transactions happens, then it is very easy for them to get the right match, the right buyer from across the world. Secondly, because it is on blockchain technology, so the authenticated buyer only he can choose. Because he's based on the buyer's previous records, which is on blockchain, his ratings are done. And based on the ratings, they can choose the buyer. After choosing the buyer, they can dispatch the material. When they dispatch the material, and if it is tracked on real time, then it is for the trust and safety of the buyer. They can exactly come to know that from which place it got originated, how it traveled and how it reached to the buyer. So ultimately that brings trust also to the buyer. And lastly, when the delivery is completed, at that time, because the conditions are matched, so automatically the smart contract releases the payment to the seller. So this is one good, I would say, example of how blockchain technology can help to solve this problem of SME.
Yeah, thank you. That actually explained in a quite simple manner. So access to finance has been a challenge when it comes to SMEs a lot. So how can blockchain help in that?
Sure. So generally, if any company needs finance, then they have to have a few years of good track record and banking and all other parameters which are seen by the traditional banking institutes, and based on that they are exposed to the funding options. At the same time, it's not possible, maybe founder may be good, doing the job very well, doing his business very well, but maybe record keeping may not be that much strong where he can fulfill all the requirement of a traditional financial institution. But if that the same thing is carried out just in the form of blockchain technology, like जैसे आपका tally है, so founder doesn't have to do anything. There is a platform where he just records whatever business he does. He just keeps it entered in that, and automatically the online credit score is being built, and based on that online credit score, his previous business, volumes, his payment history, and all the parameters. If there is a lending platform, definitely as per the regulation, as per the regulatory guidelines, then automatically they get exposure to the basically credits that they can utilize for their business. Second possibility is they can tokenize the receivables. So that will help them to generate funds to support their requirement, because now and whatever their receivables are there, or whatever the invoice amount is there, or even if they have some inventory which is there in their warehouse, so they can tokenize those things and they can float it to the market, utilizing the secondary market, like I would say, like CIFDAQ exchange, where they can go to the public, go to the crowd, and they can get their requirement funded, which they can utilize. One good development even in India is, since 2017, there is one ex-ICICI Bank guy who stepped out of ICICI Bank. He formed an entity. It is already funded by 18 other national and private banks, and they are deeply working to address this issue, where invoice tokenization and receivable tokenization and inventory tokenization would be floated for MSME, and that is at a very advanced level, where very soon the government may give regulatory clearance, maybe initially sandbox, followed by that full-fledged implementation for the same. So this will be maybe, I would say, happening in next 1 year or 2 years in India as well.
Amazing, amazing. So even for the audience, I would like to say, if you have any questions, so be prepared with that. After having a couple of more questions, we'll try to pass it on to you guys, so that you can ask anything that is relevant for you and you would like to know more in detail. So coming to that, as you mentioned about Indian government also helping with that. So what can government or regulators actually do to accelerate this adoption?
See, with regulatory clarity only, these things are possible and feasible. So one is, government can introduce a sandbox environment first of all, where some pilot project can be carried out, and finally regulations can be built and it can be implemented. Once that comes into picture, government can provide subsidies to early adopter of blockchain technology, so that more and more SME founders tend to take advantage of this particular platform, and likewise government can support.
Amazing. So as you already clarified much on how practically it can be helpful to blockchain and SMEs, and how it can help in analyzing finance also better, and how it can help in developing better strategies. So what's holding back, according to you, what's holding back blockchain adoption for SMEs?
I would say maybe lack of exposure and understanding, and people are still not giving enough time to explore this technology. I always suggest to any founder that if you really want to grow well, then adopt technology, which is not happening. People are following traditional routes, and they feel that there is nothing which is going to happen very soon. So I think that's what is a bottleneck in adoption.
Great. So how can we bridge the gap in that case, if we want to make it? So maybe for many people it's a difficult term, it's tough to understand, or it's difficult to crack that particular knowledge. So how can we actually make it easy for them?
So founders should try to research more on the technology and probability, also what is going on, not only in India but around the world. So say for example, if you consider around the world, then there is already a platform named Goldfinch, who are doing lending to SME founders on blockchain. Also there is a Centrifuge which is doing the same. So when you consider countries like US and Europe, there are many things which are going on blockchain technology in much advanced manner. People have to, explore and go deeper.
Great. On that point, I would like to shift it to our audience. So anyone in the audience, if you have any question for him that you would like to know, if anybody wants to ask that, we have this time. Yeah. Can we please have Mike there in the third row? Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Rushabh. I'm working with Desco International. Sir, I want to understand in detail regarding the tokenization thing that you mentioned. That how it will work and how can an organization like us, wherein there are working capital infusions at a very higher scale, how can it help us? Like in terms of getting capital instantly through trade receivables or pay.
It's a detailed discussion, but I can just give you a gist of how any tokenization works. So if there is X amount, which is in total, it is broken up into fractional ownership things, and then after it is floated among open market people, and they tend to do the primary level transaction, and that you can decide that if you have a requirement of say 10% of that total X amount, then you will be floating that 10% only to the primary buyers, and that will help you to address your requirement. And over there, you need exchange like CIFDAQ, which we are launching in India in coming 2 to 3 months, where you can go and you can float in the community which believes in tokenization, and they buy the tokens and you get the liquidity.
Great. Anybody else who would like to ask a question? Yeah, we have someone in the second row.
Hello sir, so my name is Sagar Vekaria, and I have worked with many different kind of manufacturing industries. So there is also one problem related to fund. So about this technology I have also thought, but I haven't aware about it. That it is already in use in outside of India. But is it in India like adopting from last how many years?
Sagar, during my speech I told that there is a set of people, ex-bankers, with support of 18 plus nationalized and private banks, have been working since 2017 on this use case, and it is under government's purview, and hopefully in next 1 year or 2 years, the pilot project for the same will be launched, because worldwide if you see, invoice tokenization is a $7 trillion US market by 2020, which is just one use case of blockchain technology. So this is from India. International players have already floated. Banks like JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley and Fidelity and all are also considering. If you go to Ondu, that is Ondu Finance, that is BlackRock platform, you will find many innovative products. So future of banking and future of finance is blockchain technology.
Yeah, right. So like I have to approach for getting technology access, and I have to approach those banks directly for manufacturing.
Not really. When it will be regulated in India, then they would certainly come up with the kind of how anyone can approach, and hence things would be good.
Thank you.
Can we take one more question? There's something in that.
Hello Himanshu sir, my name is Rohit. Just wanted to know, सर ये ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी की इंडिया में फ्यूचर में क्या-क्या संभावनाएं हैं? मतलब because you come from a position where you have deep knowledge. Of course, regulatory and all these constraints are there which will get addressed. लेकिन फ्यूचर में हम क्या-क्या चीजें देख सकते हैं? If you just have to punt on ये एरिया से हो सकता है, just from an interest.
Certainly. So first of all, our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, endorses the potential of blockchain technology. Mr. Mukesh Ambani also endorses the potential of blockchain technology. And as I said, everything is one use case. It is a complete shift from Web 2 to Web 3. When internet came, it was a shift from Web 1 to Web 2. So in India, on private front or government front. Whatever is happening, everything will move to blockchain. And if you want to understand few use cases, which has already started. So say for example, Kolkata, there is a developing upcoming area named Newtown, which is 2,700 acres land parcel. That complete land records are on blockchain. So when the land records goes on blockchain, so then there cannot be any disputes which can come up. So that solves land ownership problem to a great extent, which will be replicated in future by other cities, other towns, other states. Second use case which is going on is getting the birth certificates and death certificates and marriage certificates on blockchain, which is done by Aurangabad collector. So when any records goes on blockchain, and then there is, if the data is fetched with DigiLocker or some kind of app, then you don't have to preserve those documents. There cannot be any forging which is possible. Third use case with Gujarat government, where they are bringing the complete notarized documentation process on blockchain. So there cannot be again fake notary things which people used to do mainly for land and other purposes. So all these things will stop. The real estate tokenization, government is considering very actively, because fractional ownership of real estate with the SEBI approval is already possible, already going on, but that's not on blockchain. When it comes on blockchain, then the possibilities expand. Carbon credit tokenization, by 2027, every corporate has to be zero carbon. So that's also something which is going on. And on that, on Gift City, there is real world asset tokenization platform which is being offered, where if you tokenize the carbon credit, you can get it traded. So that's a huge. I can talk about every use case, to the extent you want to.
That was amazing. I guess you very well explained and gave examples of multiple usages at different levels, and that gave a very clear picture of a little bit future question that you asked. Anybody else who have a question? And okay, to conclude with that, what's one message? Because still there is a lot of restraint and use of blockchain into SMEs and SME founders are still very restrained about it. So what's your one final message that you would like to give to them?
Being an Indian, deeply into this domain, what I understand is there is a wrong perception which is there in people's mind when they hear the word crypto. So very first of all, crypto is a very small part of blockchain technology. And the way in year 2000, when internet came and people were telling it will burst and it's .com boom, and now we see that the world is not possible without internet. The same potential this technology has got. So sooner you adapt, better will be for you, because it's a wonderful, fantastic technology which is going to bring revolution the way you live, the way you do business in our life, and that too just in coming 2, 3, 5 years, not 10, 20 years. So please understand this technology well, it will help you a lot.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That was very insightful, very raw, and very relatable to many people, many founders right here in the audience. Thank you so much. Over to you, Pavleen.
Thank you so much, Karishma, and thank you so much, Himanshu, for that very informative fireside chat. Can you have a big round of applause for Himanshu, please? And Karishma. Thank you so much. Thank you.